From Washington, D.C., this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Hena Zuberi. Our top story tonight. Dr. Aafia Siddiqui says she was sexually assaulted during her incarceration. Siddiqui's lawyer, Clive Stafford Smith, said she was sexually assaulted multiple times, including incidents at the notorious Bagram jail in Afghanistan. Smith's comments corroborated a 2018 report by Pakistan's former Consul General, Aisha Farooqi, detailing the physical and sexual abuse she suffered during detention. Her recent revelations have sparked outrage in Pakistan, where her sentencing has been contentious. The Pakistani government has funded her legal defense. Smith says he filed a report documenting the abuse Siddiqui endured. The alleged sexual mistreatment adds to concerns surrounding her already troubled incarceration in the United States. Siddiqui is a Pakistani neuroscientist serving an 86-year sentence in a U.S. prison. Human rights advocates have long been concerned about Siddiqui, convicted in 2010 for supposedly attacking U.S. troops in Afghanistan. Former U.S. official Josh Paul cited shocking revelations regarding the shutdown of a Palestinian NGO by Israeli authorities. The Defense for Children International Palestine, or DCIP, was closed after reporting the rape of a Palestinian teenager by Israeli forces to the U.S. State Department in 2021. Paul, who resigned from his post in October to protest arms sales to Israel, says Israeli forces not only raided the group's offices, but also designated it a terrorist entity. A complaint by the U.S. State Department raised concerns about the rape of a 15-year-old Palestinian boy at the Mascobia detention center in West Jerusalem. Paul highlighted the severity of the situation, saying Israeli authorities had removed the NGO's computers during the raid. He emphasized that DCIP is the sole Palestinian human rights organization that focuses on protecting the rights of children. Israeli attacks on central Gaza in the last 24 hours have left 73 Palestinians dead and 123 others injured, according to Gaza's health ministry. The situation escalated further when 19 Palestinians were killed in Israeli airstrikes on Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza. Palestinian official news agency Wafa claims Israeli forces are using white phosphorus and smoke bombs in the camp. The Israeli military said it struck about 250 targets across Gaza in 24 hours, with ongoing efforts to locate weapons and military infrastructure. Hamas claimed to have killed 10 Israeli soldiers in eastern Khan Yunis and damaged Israeli tanks and military vehicles. Israeli fighter jets also bombed 5 United Nations schools sheltering displaced Palestinians, leading to numerous casualties. The death toll in Gaza since October 7 has risen to 16,248, with 254 killed in the West Bank. The dead include 7,112 children, 4,885 women, 286 medical professionals, 32 paramedics, and 81 journalists. Approximately 7,600 are missing, with over 43,000 injured in Gaza. In the occupied West Bank, the death toll has reached 254. The U.S. House of Representatives has passed a resolution conflating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism domestically and internationally. The move has sparked controversy amongst Democrats who argue that the language used in the Republican-led resolution is too broad. They fear it could categorize any criticism of the Israeli government or its policies as anti-Semitism. The final vote tally was 311 to 14, with 92 Democrats voting present, 13 Democrats and 1 Republican opposing the resolution. Critics argue labeling anti-Zionism as anti-Semitism oversimplifies a complex issue. The resolution makes many ultra-Orthodox Jewish groups anti-Semitic who consider Zionism and the establishment of the State of Israel as a sinful deed. The United Auto Workers, or UAW, is calling for a ceasefire, making it the largest national union in the United States to support the cause. The UAW represents workers across various industries. The announcement was made during a joint event outside the White House with Palestinian organizers and activists on a week-long hunger strike to demand an immediate ceasefire. Despite international pressure for a permanent ceasefire, Israel allowed a temporary ceasefire to expire, resuming airstrikes that have killed hundreds of Palestinians. An increasing number of Americans have been using the iconic Palestinian Keffiyeh scarf to show solidarity with Palestinians or to call for a ceasefire. U.S. distributors have reported a significant surge in Keffiyeh sales. However, wearers have faced challenges, including forcible removal by security forces at some protests and verbal or physical abuse. Azar Agayev is the U.S. distributor for Harbawi, the sole Keffiyeh manufacturer in the Israeli-occupied West Bank. He noted a sudden increase in website traffic and sales. All 40 variations on the U.S. website, including colorful options, are currently sold out. This rise in the scarf's popularity reflects growing awareness and support for Palestinian issues in the U.S. Toronto-based filmmaker denounces Israeli citizenship. Detailed story comes after the break. Stay tuned and we will be right back. Welcome back. Toronto-based Jewish filmmaker Yulia Benevolsky has publicly renounced her Israeli citizenship. She cites her growing disillusionment with Israel's actions, particularly the recent assault on Gaza, for the move. Benevolsky says that her decision has been brewing since she discovered the untaught history of Israel, leading her to question her ties to the country. The tipping point was Israel's devastating assault on Gaza, resulting in a catastrophic loss of life. She has expressed deep concern for the inhumane treatment of Palestinians and a lack of prioritization of their well-being. Despite the potential strain on her relationships with friends and family, Benevolsky believes it's essential to take a stand against Israel's actions. She urged others to contemplate the situation on the ground and to reflect on the implications of renouncing one's citizenship. U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham is defending Israel's aggression on Gaza and downplaying the rising death toll of Palestinians. In a CNN interview, Graham dismissed concerns about civilian casualties, saying, "Well, tell us how to do it differently." He drew a comparison to World War II, questioning the public's concern over casualties during that conflict. Graham's comments were in response to Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's warning to Israel about minimizing civilian casualties. Austin emphasized the importance of protecting Palestinian civilians. Graham argues that Hamas's presence in civilian areas makes it challenging to prevent casualties. The United Nations has emphasized that there are no designated safe zones in Gaza. Spokesman Stefan Dujarric emphasized that nowhere in Gaza, including facilities bearing the UN flag, can be considered safe during the current attack. This announcement follows a statement by the State Department representative encouraging people to seek refuge in UN-designated sites. Dujarric has expressed concern about the safety of thousands of men, women, and children seeking shelter and necessities in these UN-marked localities. He says even these areas have not been immune to danger. In response to an Israeli spokesman's comments about civilian casualties, Dujarric asserted that UN does not endorse such ratios and is committed to preventing civilian deaths. Congress convened a hearing on anti-Semitism in universities. Leaders of top universities presented their response to the surge in acts of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia on campus. Leaders from Harvard, the University of Pennsylvania, and MIT faced inquiries highlighting their measures to combat hate. Harvard President Claudine Gay emphasized increased security, expanded reporting channels, and mental health support. University of Pennsylvania President Liz McGill emphasized immediate investigations and cooperation with law enforcement, including the FBI. Sally Kornbluth of MIT acknowledged Israeli and Jewish students' concern over their safety. The leaders also emphasized the importance of preserving free speech within limits. A study was revealed that 73% of Jewish college students have experienced or witnessed anti-Semitism this year, and dissatisfaction with their university's responses. The definition of anti-Semitism used is unknown. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has raised concerns about hateful language during protests. With a rise in Islamophobia nationwide, with attacks on students that have resulted in some students losing the ability to walk, universities are vowing to protect all student groups. Some institutions are under investigation for their handling of discrimination reports by the U.S. Department of Education. Israeli social media users continue to mock the dire situation of Palestinians in the besieged Gaza Strip. Posts from Israeli users on social media platforms are ridiculing severe shortages of essentials such as water, electricity, fuel, and food in Gaza. Their posts have incorporated a song from 2005 comedy program to mock the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Some users, including Israeli soldiers, have donned traditional Palestinian clothing and painted their faces to mock people from Gaza. Social media influencers have also participated, often sharing images of Gaza's destruction with laughing facial expressions. These actions have gained millions of views, but haven't gone unchallenged. Similar past trends involving Israeli soldiers and children calling for Gaza's destruction have faced criticism and controversy. Iran has issued a ban on Afghan refugees and migrants living, traveling to, or seeking employment in 16 of its provinces. Director General of Citizenship and Foreign Nationals Affairs of Karamshah province, Hamza Soleimani, confirmed the ban. Affected provinces include Karamshah, East Azerbaijan, West Azerbaijan, Arab Dalil, Zanjan. Iranian officials aim to deport more than half of the estimated 5 million Afghan residents in the country due to lack of proper documentation. Despite pleas from Afghanistan's ruling Taliban government seeking leniency, deportations from Iran have surged in recent months. The situation is causing increasing concerns among Afghan refugees, with many being arrested and taken to repatriation camps. Iran has hosted Afghan refugees for more than 4 decades with a lack of international aid. Most of the Afghan refugees in Iran are educated, middle-class people who previously served in Afghanistan's security forces or civil bureaucracy. That's all from our Washington, D.C. studios tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit muslimnetwork.tv. Assalamu alaikum and good night.